Uh, I've been trying to make a video like this for a long time. I just want to address some things uh, that I've been hearing about and witnessing for the last 10 years. But right now, I really came to a conclusion. When it comes to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, one of the things that bother me is, first of all, let me just be clear. I believe in a peaceful world. I wish I can press a button and everybody in the world live in harmony. But when it comes to this conflict in the Middle East between Israelis and Palestine, there's always one thing that bothered me and seemed really bizarre, is how the Palestinian leadership, whether it's in the West Bank led by the Palestinian Authority or in Gaza led by Hamas, these two factions they have differences, even escalated to armed combat before Hamas took power of Gaza. And one thing that bothers me is how these Palestinian leaders address Arab countries in the area, not just the Middle East, but in North Africa as well. They tend to accuse Arab countries of betrayal and being Zionist agents. And this is mainly directed to the countries of the Gulf. I'm talking Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, the UAE. I have one question. They betrayed what exactly? What did they betray? To be honest with you, Arabs/Muslims, they should have never gotten involved in this conflict to begin with. The reason they got involved in it after the establishment of Israel is another story. I'm going to make another video about that, and I'm going to break it down. How we got into this position, how we made Israel our primary enemy. But these countries are often accused of betrayal. Betrayed what exactly? This is not our conflict. And the funny thing is, which shows the lack of gratitude, I mean, let's just let's just take Saudi Arabia, for example. Saudi Arabia as a country. Now, whether you agree with Saudi Arabia or not, whether you agree with their politics or not, this is not the point here. The point is, Saudi Arabia, they supported the Palestinian cause with everything they have. And I'm talking that's like decade after decade. Billions of dollars have been paid to Palestinian leadership. They supported Palestine with money, billions of dollars. Saudi Arabia, they made lots of interventions on behalf of the Palestinians. The Palestinian leadership has been very reckless, but Saudi Arabia, brainwashed by Arab nationalism and this idea that we are Muslims, we are brothers and sisters, so therefore we have to come to the aid of our Palestinian siblings, which turned out to be detrimental, by the way. So Saudi Arabia gave everything to the so-called Palestinians. They gave billions of dollars. They paid for their government's employees' salaries. They made many interventions. They really made political, financial, even human intervention. Saudi Arabia, they sent troops to fight against Israel during the War of October, or like they call the Yom Kippur War. They sent troops, and they sent troops to fight against Israel on behalf of the Palestinian when Saudi Arabia was just like a young country. They didn't have any air force. They didn't have any armored vehicles. They didn't have tanks. They sent whatever they had. About 3,000 Saudi soldiers, over almost 160 of them dead during that war. And this continued. Let's not just talk about the Oslo Accords and the Camp David and the two-state solution. Saudi Arabia supported the Palestinian leadership in every way imaginable. And the reason I'm making this video is, despite all this support, despite all these interventions, despite sacrificing the blood of their children, a country like Saudi Arabia, and by the way, the UAE and Kuwait, they're on the same boat. They gave to the Palestinians like without even like remembering it. They gave. So, like I said, the point of this video is, after doing all of this stuff for the Palestinians, the Palestinian leadership, they get on the podium, and the first thing they think of doing is insulting the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, a country they gave everything to support their cause. They call them traitors. They call Saudi women whores. They spit on the graves of all Saudi kings. We're just stating facts here. So this is a huge lack of gratitude. You understand? So my question, and by the way, these leaders, after decades of getting support from Saudi Arabia, someone like Ismail Haniyeh, who got killed by Israel, will get on the podium and will say that Qasem Soleimani, the former leader of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, he will say that Soleimani is the martyr of Jerusalem. Now imagine this, not a single Saudi king or anybody from Kuwait or the UAE was called a martyr of the cause or received praise. But this guy, an Iranian military leader who slaughtered Arabs and Muslims left and right, receives praise, and he's a martyr. So I have another question right now. Since now the whole thing was uncovered, they can't hide anymore, they can't deny, the proof is in the pudding, like they say. The question is, why should Arabs keep supporting? And by the way, I just mentioned Saudi Arabia. I can give you like examples from almost every Arab nation and what they offered to the Palestinian cause or the Palestinian cause. So why should Arabs/Muslims keep supporting, intervening this cause, this lost cause that brought nothing to Arabs but bombings, terrorism, and an unnecessary, I'm going to emphasize on this, a very unnecessary conflict with Israel. Israel, they just want to establish their state. They don't have like any history of meddling in the affairs of neighboring Arab countries, unless of course somebody, a figure who lives in Lebanon, Syria, or Palestine is posing a great threat to Israeli society. So I think it's a very valid question. Why should we keep supporting this cause? The people who supported this cause received nothing but terrorist attacks and insults, even in their own mosques. They have a Friday prayer in mosque. Instead of talking about religion and the good things about the religion, no, they talk about how bad Saudi Arabia is. They talk about how the Saudi government gave Cristiano Ronaldo millions or billions of dollars instead of giving it to the Palestinians. Well, let me tell you something, and this is a message to the Palestinian leadership and all these Palestinian activists, these terror supporters. Arabs have woken up. This is a new age. We are looking for peace. We are looking for prosperity. We are tired of wars, coups, genocide, dictatorships. We are moving towards peace. And I wish every single Arab slash Muslim country normalized relationships with Israel, because normalizing relationships with Israel for one day has been proven to be much better than supporting the Palestinian cause for 50 years. And now I'm going to end this video by saying, Hamas, every faction in so-called Palestine, and I hope Israel takes care of business. Out.